People say, where those fish come from? And I might say, hey, you know what? They come from row tank number 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 6. They don't like it. They don't appreciate it. Some of them do. Hey everybody, welcome back to Florida Exotic. We're out here today. What we're going to do is mess around with these Cyps. If you might remember a video, we set them up, came in wild. I don't know if it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, but we haven't messed with them because trying to condition them. So we're going to go in there and take a look. It's March, and believe it or not, it's unusual for us, but the fish are breeding already, which is kind of neat. We've checked a few things, buco, nodos, buco, spectabilis, and they're breeding. So I'm going to check these guys out and see if they're doing okay and everything. By the way, thanks for watching the video on moving the dove eye. That was a fun one for us. We're keeping an eye. I know you all saw that Dave the dove eye got sick and he's in hospice, but it's not hospice anymore. He's moved up to critical care. That's a good move. But we love it. There's so many people watching it. But we want you to also, hey, we'd love it if you subscribe. And if you don't, you know, we're putting in, I think Glenn said we're going to put in some kind of thing. If you don't subscribe, you can't watch us. And I don't think that's possible. But anyway, and I'm also noting my, just for the first time, my nemesis, you can't see him now, the boat-tail grackles are here. And they come every season, and we have lychee trees up front. We'll show you what they do while they're doing it. And they just slaughter the lychees. And I've seen one here. Before you know it, there'll be 10, then there'll be 20, then there'll be 30. I hate them. To me, they're like rats with wings. Now, we sexed these out last time, had a fair number of male, and I see babies in here. Oh, very cool. Now, before I get the adults up, I want to get these babies out of here so they won't be kicking around with the adults. These are Tricolor Cyps, several types of tricolors. I'm not going to get into what these are because I'm going by what the supplier said. Call them in pimwees. He might be right, he might be wrong, but it doesn't matter. They're beautiful. So I'm going to sell them as tricolors. And if somebody really pushes me, I'll call them, I'll ask you this question. Well, what's your favorite? If you tell me it's in Pimbuy, I'm going to say, well, that's lucky for you because that's exactly what it is. No, I won't do that. I'll just go back to my supplier and say, can you really verify? I'm a smart aleck like that. Sometimes people say, where those fish come from? And I might say, hey, you know what? They come from row tank number 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 6. They don't like it. They don't appreciate it. Some of them do. Some of them have known me forever. So now we'll see if any of them are holding. I would say those got spit out at least a week and a half ago. So they're thinking about it. Usually with these guys, I don't know how it happens, but if they're going to spawn, we'll come out here and they'll be, every female will be holding it. I don't really see a lot of action here. I see a cranked up male or two, so they're thinking about it. But like I said, this is very unusual for this time of year. And we're happy because, you know, we've been running through fish like crazy here on the farm. So if I can get them started early. Now, when this guy gets fired up, this dorsal is going to be black. He'll be bluish. And they'll switch in the morning. Maybe one of them will be more fired up and he'll breed that day. Or Glenn believes it happens with the moon. Could be right. I don't know. But the females don't look like anybody's holding. But there's probably, I don't know, 50 babies in there. So that's a good start because, you know, when they come in from the wild, they're a little skinny and they take a while to beef up and then they'll start going. Like I told you before, I have the other wild ones are 2 tanks down, so they're not near any other Cyps because these guys are jumpers. on a...
So Rick, why don't you just mention, you know, everybody is watching you handle the fish, and most of them you're not actually picking up. So what's our secret when we look at a fish from the surface of how it's holding or not? Well, for these Cyps.
Well, when I lift them up, their sides, their gills are being flared out, and all I'm doing is when I look at them, I'm turning them over real quick and see if there's anything happening here. If this fish was holding, it'd be bugged out.
Yep.
So she'd be carrying eggs, but I can look down from the top and see that nobody's holding.
Yep.
I mean, you know, we've seen a billion of these, not a billion. We've seen so many fish that you get. I mean, even the guys that do this for, you know, everybody checks their own fish. They're good like that. They can walk up to a tank and say, hey, let's check them. Hey, let's don't check them. You want to bring that net, Glenn, the little one?
Yep.
These are our Petrichromis Travasis. I don't think they've started yet, but the old ones are breeding really good. And kind of amazed because the old ones bred right, when I say old, my originals bred right through, and there's a couple of get them out of here fish in here, because I think, here's babies too. I think that, see, it's cool here too, you know, these are smaller babies, and the adults just don't bother them. They leave them alone. And that's really nice because, can you have that net, please? You know, if you miss them, I mean, I've come out here when we got behind because we're catching so many fish and shipping that it's been 300 babies out here. So, there's probably another 50 plus. So there's 100 babies out here for their first shot. Breeding, that's not bad at all. So we'll see now. Just looking real quick. Oh, I'm gonna have to net this out anyway because there is it's like a female peacock, and it's probably from Tony's Xenotilapia cats. When he throws them back in the bucket, maybe he didn't throw them so carefully. So I'm gonna get rid of that. It's not causing any problem because it's a female. It's not like it bred with anybody. It's a female otter jake. It's what we use for over there, Xenotilapia cats. But right off the bat, I would say none of these adults are holding. There's nobody with pups out. But there's some more babies. So then once you hand me that net, I'm going to see if I can get the babies out, and then I won't mess with the adults. Now at this point, we will start checking these guys we'll look at them. I'm going to walk by visual every probably, I would say 2 weeks. And we'll see if they will start. I'd like to catch them holding. But when I get like this, it's not super necessary, but that's everybody, isn't it?
Yep. Nope, one more down there. Right against the wall. And one up in this corner back here.
Yep. So we'll see how these guys do next time. Now we're going to go check our other tricolors in another area, so we'll see you when we get over there.
Back in a flash.
You betcha. Hey everybody, we're here over with the other tricolors. I didn't look like anybody's holding right now, but they're looking good, and the ratio male to female is good. That's probably one of the main things we're doing right now is we're making sure that they're set up properly, not too many males, whatever, so that when we do want to start really breeding, here's a little male thinking about showing some color. Nice. And they'll show color that size, and here's probably a little female. But anyway, I'm going to check. We'll get done with these guys. Now I'm going to go check starting the Utinta. And the Utinta is another Cyp. One of the blue with yellowtail varieties, which there's a lot of them. There's Utinta, there's Karingi, there's several others. But they're good. But they may not have started yet, but I need to see what the ratio is on them. And we got 3 tanks of them. So I want to make sure that I've got what I want in here. I don't want to be checking these guys for 3 times and find out there's no males or something like that. And they've been sitting kind of idle for months now. So they're not really fired up yet. But here's what I'm talking about. When this guy gets fired up, he'll be solid blue and tail will be bright yellow. And like I said, it's in the morning time. You know what's in? There's some goofies. No, I know why they're in here. I was sorting something over here the other day. I'll get them out later. By goofies, I mean these little guys. I was working one of these black plastics behind me, and being lazy, I didn't want to lean over. So I was doing it here and tossing them, and of course missing. So these look like they're good to go. Those right there. You can keep bringing that bucket, Glenn. I don't know if I'm going to need it.
Got it.
But, okay, now these are a little bit younger. I don't know if they've started yet. One of them's fired up nice. I don't see right up the hand anybody holding, but I also see that there's quite a few males in here. So look how this guy looks. And that's cool. So let's see. I only saw next door 2 males.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of
So
this one seems pretty heavy.
These males over.
Yeah.
Let them do their thing, because there's already, I've got 1, 2, 3. Sometimes the less dominant male is going to be solid blue like this with no yellow tail. But if he gets a chance to breed, he's going to flash that yellow tail. So I'm going to put him over there too. So these guys look, I put 2 males in. I got 1, 2, 3. There may be some of these young guys have grown up and they're going to be males. The next time I go in here, I might take a little colony out and sell them to somebody. They always like to get them. You can bring that out. I still don't know if I need it. Oh, there's one of my little friends. Oh, he got away. Toad. This time of year, years ago, before we were totally out of the ground, and by that I mean when we were pools in the ground, if I'd seen that toad right there and chopping away, I'd have tracked him down and killed him, because on a rainy night, the males will be out here singing, and there'll be females come from all over these groves around us, and they'll be breeding here. When I had the pools in the ground, one of the main things we fought all summer was them laying eggs into the tank, and they're poisonous. It's the same poison that kills dogs and cats and anything that licks them.
It's a neurotoxin.
Yep. It destroys them. I mean, they go into you walk out there and the whole tank will be spinning, and they'll lay thousands. The whole tank will be spinning, and you can't do anything for them. You cannot. There's nothing to do. We lost a dog, or 2 dogs for that. So these are set up fine too. So anyway, we're set up on the Cyps. That's good. We managed to get maybe 150 Tricolors, which isn't shabby. So we'll start checking these guys on a regular basis. Maybe we'll bring you back out here to see them. Oh, you know what might be fun to do on the way back out? You son of a, I don't need it. They're not that. Let's look at those Xenos.
Let's go.
Why not? We got some Xeno now. I don't know anybody to jump me. Just gonna say, hey, you know, what are you talking about? But these are Xenotilapia, and they came from Nyanza Lake. So that is the area, and I'm sure that if I wanted more information, Glenn, can you grab that other big net? Because if you don't put it on the very end, these guys are going to go airborne. So just lay it on that end there. Can you film and still lay it there?
Yep.
Okay. These guys are kind of hang on the bottom. And I had probably 10 wild, and I lost them. So, I mean, Lost a bunch of them. I don't know what happened. I actually think they got drained out, which happens. Because some of these fish will run right to the drain hose. So I left the ones that were in here hoping I'd have at least a pair or something. And Glenn noticed the other day when he was draining, because he probably drained out all the other ones before.
Hey.
But he noticed that there was quite a few babies in here, so let's take a look. All right. Now I think there's more, oh, there's more babies in this. And these aren't well, these are babies, but these are not, these are also, could almost be considered young breeders.
I saw that and go, wait a minute, that's a Cyprichromis, but no, that's a big adult.
But here's kind of a sub-adult getting ready to do his thing. And they get some really cool, let me see if I can get him
in sunlight.
I raise his dorsal. But they get some neat, see on their dorsal? You making a shadow with the camera? Let's see that dorsal? Really nice. The orange with the black running on it. So these guys here, I would say, good chance, here's another male, that these guys will be breeding by midsummer. Easily. Male. Now they're not fired up yet, but they will be. But these little guys here, they'll be this breeder size quick. Now I'm gonna leave them alone and see what happens. This is great fish.
And we raise these without substrate.
Nope.
So there's no substrate in this tank.
By the way, when I said the lychees are in bloom, take a look at this tree right here. All those are blooms. I don't know if you're familiar with lychees, but they're like a reddish fruit. And you either love them or you hate them. But if you love them, you're going to be coming down my driveway and having mouthfuls in your mouth when I come up to you and say, excuse me, what are you doing? And here's what I usually hear. I'm checking out your lychees to see if they're sweet.
I know, I hate that every year.
I know, every year.
And then everybody wants to come and buy them. We have big no trespassing signs, but they drive slowly down the driveway. After passing 7 no trespassing signs, they go, can we buy your lychees?
And they'll have a mouthful of them.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, some of them hang over the fence out front. You pull out there and there'll be 2 or 3 cars parked there because down here they consider if it's over the fence, it's yours. And they'll come in here, they'll cut limbs off and run away with them. Yeah, several years ago, we got hit hard. Bunch of limbs cut off, which pissed me off. I didn't so much care about the lychees. But they were eating them on the way home. So I got in my car with Tamla and we just followed the lychees to a house about 3 miles away with just lychee husks. Because you pop them open and throw the red part away. Pulled in the driveway and they were all over the driveway. I went up and knocked on the door. I said, excuse me. Guy came to the door. I said, excuse me. Somebody just hit our grove for lychees and we tracked it back to your house. And he hollered out some kid's name like with piss in his voice. And this little young guy comes walking up and he just looked at him. And the guy looked at me and he said, lychees? And the guy just was good. He said, don't worry about it, I'm taking care of this. So well, who knows what happened. But anyway, thanks for coming back to the farm. It's another little thing we got. By the way, this whole area used to be lychee trees. And over the years, we put them down. They actually hit or don't hit depending on the weather. They need X amount of hours of cold to even...
Or after a nice tropical storm. The commercial growers in our area, they'll take, usually every 2 years, right, Rick? They come and just whack the heck out of them.
They say, over in China where they're from, that they take bamboo poles and beat the crap out of the trees about a month before they should start blooming. And then what happens is the tree goes, yikes, I'm dying. So they put the fruit out. If it's a great winter and warm, they don't care. They just keep growing leaves. But I put them in here years ago because I like them. Anyway, really appreciate you coming back on the farm with me. Like us, give us a comment, and subscribe now. We need subscriptions. What do we reach in views?
It's over 100,000 channel views.
Wow, we reached that. It's amazing. But anyway, I'm enjoying this. I hope you are too.